What's up, guys? Welcome back. Second, I forgot to get my avatar up, but it's gonna pop up just in a minute. Give it a second. But anyway, guys, welcome back. How's it going? We're here checking out. We're gonna be diving into classic, and when I mean classic, it's a Christmas movie classic, and we're just gonna dive into why this movie was a staple, back in the day. I think it still is and whatnot because I grew up watching it, and yeah, I just still love it. I still love it to this day. So without further ado, let's dive into this. So sit back, relax, get some snacks, get a hot beverage, maybe a hot cocoa or some coffee. Each their own. And let's dive into this Christmas special wonder. This is magic. I'll leave the original. Oops, sorry. I'll leave the original video in the description. And also, guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do that for me, please. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for helping me get to 200 subscribers. It's freaking awesome. I hope let's continue moving forward, guys. It's been a hell of a journey, and it'll still be a hell of a journey. We'll continue. So let's get back to the show. Okay, that's enough of my announcements. Let's get back to the show.
Welcome back to Animation Movies Revisited, where we take a look back at some of the most influential animated films and rediscover why they've left a lasting impression.
I was 5 years old when I first watched this movie. It was 1995.
Throughout the years. For this episode, you'll want to grab a cup of hot chocolate and some freshly baked sugar cookies.
Oh yeah,
because we're traveling to the North Pole to look back at Larry Romer's 1964 stop-motion animated holiday classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Decades before Ernest Saved Christmas or Buddy the Elf spread holiday cheer all over New York City.
And by the way, guys, let me know in the comments what Christmas movie or Christmas special out there. Yeah, let me know which one of these, specials is your favorite. It doesn't matter if it's, just a Christmas special, just an episode on a show, or if it's a Christmas movie special. All right. If it's in the theme of Christmas, let me know. Let me see my top 5. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, definitely. It was the first one I've ever seen. Then it's Muppets Christmas Carol, number 2. Number 3 is Jack Frost. Then number 4 is Mickey's Christmas. Mickey's Merry Christmas, I think that's what it's called. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. There we go. Once Upon a Christmas. And then the last one is The Grinch. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I'm talking about the one with Jim Carrey in it.
Videocraft International gave everyone the gift of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh yeah, they did.
The family-friendly event film is a first-of-its-kind Christmas special that dashed and danced its way into the hearts of millions. Inspired by the John Mark song of the same name, the stop-motion animated marvel
Yeah, I was about to say that it was all stop-motion animation. Just like no different from Tim Burton.
Created by Arthur Rankin and Jules Bass, features characters and story beats from the timeless tune.
Yeah, we're getting deep into this now.
Like any adaptation worth its salt, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer goes beyond the source material to teach audiences valuable lessons about bullying, remorse, and keeping the spirit of Christmas alive.
Yeah, it definitely covers just about everything, guys. Not just Christmas and whatnot, but, as a human being itself.
The original concept for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer hails from a Jewish Montgomery Ward copywriter named Robert May,
Oh, okay.
Conceived in 1939, May was given almost a year to craft an original holiday story to market to department store customers. During the creative process, May...
it kind of does look like it has, almost like that Hallmark brand in it, right? Almost just about.
He experienced several hardships, including the death of his wife from cancer in July of that year.
Damn.
Instead of abandoning the project, May relished the distraction and continued developing ideas. He ultimately found inspiration in his daughter's love for reindeer living at the Lincoln Park Zoo. After telling the story in 89 couplets, Montgomery Ward converted May's poem into a 32-page booklet. The store distributed more than 2 million copies of the story to customers that season to say thanks for their patronage.
Right.
After World War II, Montgomery Ward offered May the rights to Rudolph's tale.
Okay, I think I do know a bit of that history of this movie. That's what happened. It was like right after World War II. It's also funny that a lot of things that we hold dear, like the internet, more new technology, computer technology, etc., all derived from World War II. This seems to be no different. So we definitely have to thank the military for it.
Stunned by his good fortune, May turned to his brother-in-law, Johnny Ward, to write songs related to the story.
Okay.
After various revisions,
he became the songwriter for the songs in this movie then.
May contacted musical artists like Bing Crosby, Dinah Shore, and Perry Como to help bring the music to life.
They're even on Spotify when it comes to... They're even played on the radio station or on Spotify or whatever you used to listen to for Christmas music, right? Especially on Spotify. They're definitely in... Those guys are definitely in the playlist because I have heard them before. Not that long ago, actually, just recently, about a week ago, I was listening to Christmas songs.
Ultimately, Gene, the singing cowboy Autry.
Gene. My favorite song from him is "Up on the House."
Took the job
I love that song.
And began recording.
It's just so catchy. And I'm not gonna lie, back when I was working in retail, I think I mentioned it before in one of my videos, working in retail, is that whenever around the holidays started to come around, especially Christmas, and the Christmas music started to come around, I honestly hated it. I hated it. For the life of me, I just had this growing passion to hate the songs and whatnot. However, I think 3 years ago, I started to shift, and I'm starting to like the Christmas songs, but the old school ones though, just like with Cowboy Gene over there.
The holiday-inspired earworm that's burrowed its way into innumerable skulls worldwide. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer became a sensation, dominating the Billboard charts as a holiday anthem for generations.
Oh yeah.
Fatefully, May lived near Arthur Rankin, who became interested in featuring Rudolph in his upcoming Christmas special, sponsored by General Electric. After connecting several dots and speaking to friends in opportunistic places, May, Rankin, Bass, Montgomery Ward, and General Electric moved into production on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rankin and Bass hired Romeo Earl Muller Jr. to write Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, who partnered with animation writer Tony Peters for the project. Peters expanded the characters' personalities, applying a thin layer of nuance to Rudolph and those he meets along his journey. Rankin and Bass had worked with Muller on their first network television special, Return to Oz, for NBC's General Electric Fantasy Hour. In the special based on the work by Frank Baum, Dorothy returned to Oz and is alarmed to find that the Wicked Witch of the West has come back to life. The emerald-skinned villain wants revenge and, in addition to kidnapping the Wizard of Oz, has cast a spell erasing the gifts and abilities of Dorothy's friends. The duo loved Muller's teleplay and wanted him to bring Rudolph's underdog story to television screens. In Muller's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the titular reindeer is the son of a loving mother and Donner, one of Santa's 8 tiny reindeer. After Donner discovers his son's nose is different than the other calves, he forcibly persuades Rudolph to hide his shiny sniffer with an uncomfortable covering. Already feeling othered, but willing to conceal his gleaming feature for acceptance, Rudolph attempts to join the reindeer games before being outed by accident. After other reindeer laugh and call him names, Rudolph runs away. While hiding from his family and would-be friends, Rudolph makes new acquaintances in Hermie the Elf and Yukon Cornelius, a rejected toy shop worker and enthusiastic prospector, respectively.
Silver and
Finding comfort in each other's company, the trio explores the expanse of the Arctic before ultimately returning to the North Pole to help Santa save Christmas.
I gotta say that also when it comes to the still stop animation, like, something about it, that especially if you're also a fan of like Tim Burton's work with Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline and other projects that he's done, there's just like, I don't know, something about still stop animation that just has like a different feel to it. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about this type of animation it's freaking cool. It makes it even more real, more realistic, right? It gives like texture.
The story concludes with Rudolph using his bright red nose to light Santa's way through a thick fog as he delivers presents to good children across the globe.
Of course.
In the end, Rudolph gains acceptance from his father and the other reindeer.
And everybody
though not
else
before embarking on a soul-searching journey fraught with self-doubt, daddy issues, and surviving a vicious, abominable snowman attack.
Insecurities, so to speak, anxieties through life.
Production for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer lasted for 18 months and cost $500,000 to produce.
Damn.
When converted for inflation, amounts to over $4.5 million in US dollars.
In today's money, I think that's probably... What would that be?
Well, that's a staggering amount of money for 1963.
Yeah.
Montgomery Ward was well aware of Rudolph's potential and how they could transform the film's impending popularity into mounds of advertising dollars. That's right, kids. Powering the warm heart of this holiday classic is a cold and calculating circulatory system of capitalism.
Oh, okay, yeah.
However, I can't drag Montgomery Ward too much. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer screened for 55% of TV audiences. Please take a moment to appreciate how many people that amounts to. Then tell me you wouldn't sacrifice Santa on the altar of consumerism.
Yeah.
To help bring Rankin and Bass.
It's kind of evil in itself, right? In a way, and whatnot. Like, I'll defend capitalism, but to the point where, that some of the practices that they'll conduct is shady, obviously, because even though capitalism, it is a good system and whatnot, there are, however, like shitty practices that surround it, right? Because I wouldn't say the system is nearly perfect and whatnot, because there are some flaws in it. But like I said,
Bass's Christmas special to life, the duo reached out to Tadahito Tad Machinaga, an up-and-coming puppeteer and propaganda filmmaker from Japan.
Okay.
Rankin met Machinaga in 1959 during a tour of Japanese animation studios.
Yeah, this is just, people like to say that the cross between Japanese animation and American animation, like, they've have always been intermingled and whatnot. They've always been communicating back and forth and whatnot. Just go back to the beginning, and especially in anime history, that what was started with, I forgot, correct me in the comments, guys, but I forgot the name of the individual who said that they had access to Disney films. This one child and saw Bambi like what 100 and some times, and became the inspiration for that one anime with the lion that people say that it was like copyrighted from that copyrighted that Disney copyrighted to make the Lion King, and so to speak, which I think is honestly bullshit and whatnot. I think it was maybe inspired and whatnot, but I don't think it was necessarily 100% copyrighted and whatnot. But, you know, that's just me. But, you know, this just like iterates like America and the US, you know, intermingling with each other and collaborating with each other. So if so-and-so individual from working in Japan animation studio started, you know, puppeteering for this, like, damn, dude, you know, I just wonder like what else other than like, you know, Astro Boy and Gigantor around that time.
Machinaga's reputation for manipulating puppets with uncanny realism preceded him.
Yeah.
And Rankin was determined to work with him. With Rankin's sights set on Japan, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer quickly became a multinational effort.
That's probably why, you know, maybe it was called International Studios, right? That's what he said? International whatever?
The voice acting would be recorded in Canada, while the music would be composed in England.
Oh, okay.
Communication between the teams was paramount to the project's success.
Right.
Thankfully, everyone working on the special was passionate about the work, and their love for their respective crafts kept production firmly on the rails.
Something that today, in today's entertainment industry, is fairly lacking, especially when it comes to Disney and whatnot. We all know we're looking at Disney under the microscope these days and whatnot because of their practices and whatnot. But I can't help saying that, like, you know, that Disney has fallen from grace, and especially with Hollywood's, you know, political agenda, which, you know, I hate because like nobody likes to freaking talk about politics really, and nobody wants to hear it in their entertainment and whatnot. Not unless it's like, you know, done right, of course. And of course, there's, you know, a time and place for everything. But it's, you know, once it gets to the point where it's like being shoved down our throats, no one's going to give a damn about it, and no one's going to want to hear that shit. Listen to your political message and whatnot with all this, you know, woke crap around it and whatnot.
With Machinaga in charge of animation, it was time to welcome Ichiro Kamuro to the fold. 22 handmade sets were expertly crafted for the film,
wow, 22
giving
sets.
The 4-inch puppets a winter wonderland to explore and interact.
Just think about that, man. Freaking 4-inch puppets, and probably even smaller. This is probably 2 inches and whatnot, because this is baby Rudolph.
With throughout the
Just think about like all the freaking, you know, the work that went into making all the little puppets here, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, that's craftsmanship.
Christmas tale.
That's quality. That is quality. Something today in today's entertainment, Hollywood media is lacking. There's hardly any quality anymore, dude. It's just more about quantity. How many movies we can dish out to freaking, you know, it's so fucking lame, dude. That's why a lot of these movies freaking suck these days.
While contemporary audiences can view the animation,
however, there are some gems that freaking make it through, you know? I'm not gonna lie.
And Rudolph is crude by today's standards. It's difficult.
Fucking, I hate that freaking shit when people say freaking retarded ass shit like that and whatnot, because it's a product of its time, okay? Granted, like, you know, some of the speech that they say, you know, back then and whatnot, it might get a freaking snowflake in their microaggressions or whatever the hell. But honestly, dude, freaking like mind your own goddamn business and just enjoy it for what it is and whatnot. Okay, stop being a damn snowflake.
Not to recognize the care that went into animating specific characters. Take Rudolph, for example. Machinaga.
It's so freaking mind-boggling that people get offended over just hearing Merry Christmas. It's so freaking stupid. Like, dude, just take it, okay? Like, fucking A. You're not gonna die. You didn't burn into flames, okay? And if you did, then I don't know, maybe you're a demon and just needed some blessing. I don't know, but like, Jesus Christ, dude. It just pisses me off that people have become so freaking disillusioned to their own bullshit.
I got traveled.
Can't even enjoy anything anymore without saying like, oh, this has racism in it. This and when I swear to God, these words have been so convoluted and being thrown around so freely and openly that people have forgotten what the actual term, what these terms mean.
To Nara,
fascism, racism, whatever the fuck. It's so fucking damn retarded.
Japan, to visit Nara Park, a deer sanctuary introduced in 1880.
I've heard of it.
Like an enchanted glen in a Studio Ghibli film, the deer are so content.
Yeah.
They often interact with visitors, letting...
That's a cutscene right there. That was cut out and not included in the final product, because I actually have the Blu-ray edition for this film, and they do have, like, you know, the taken out scenes and whatnot.
Machinaga and his assistant get up close and personal with the majestic creatures.
Nice.
The pair recorded copious notes, collected sketches, and studied the animals' movement in their natural habitat.
Mm-hmm.
This information would prove invaluable when animating the film's reindeer, who prance, frolic, and fly.
Also, I think in Bambi 2, have you guys ever seen Bambi, the first one and the second one? But I think they did the exact same thing as well. I know for a fact in Bambi 2 that the animators went to a deer reserve park, whatever, in somewhere in America, or I'm not sure exactly where, but they visited one and they, you know, studied the deer. They drew sketches of them and, you know, did the exact same thing in order to animate it into the films.
In the 47-minute film, unless you create a silent movie, you'll want actors to voice your animated characters.
Of course.
Billy May Richards plays Rudolph in the holiday-themed animation.
Oh, okay.
Who, for all of you 80s kids out there, is also the voice of Tenderheart Bear in the first two Care Bears movies.
Okay.
Paul Soles voices Hermie the elf. Larry D. Mann blusters and bellows as Yukon Cornelius. Paul Kligman plays Donner. Peg Dixon as Mrs. Donner. Janice Orenstein as Clarence. Stan Francis as Santa Claus. And King Moonracer.
Oh, okay.
And musician Burl Ives as Sam the Snowman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Using Ampex tape recorders and a unique Western electric microphone, sound engineer Bill Giles captured the performance at RCA Victor Studio in Canada.
Ah, okay.
The goal was to record the voices in their natural resonance, instead of dressing up the dialogue with auditory augmentations. Okay. Speaking of audio, let's unwrap the music featured in the film. John Marks wrote the songs for Rudolph, with musical director Maury Love arranging the ancillary score.
Yeah.
The duo combined their talents to assign unique themes to each character. These themes accompany their respective characters at different points in the film, announcing their involvement in the story while adding to the background score.
Yeah, subtle.
Other holiday classics, including Rocking Around the Christmas Tree and I Hear the Bells on Christmas Day, can be heard as well. While the film's score has never been released.
Yeah, a lot of their songs, like, I'm pretty sure they got the soundtrack like on Spotify or whatever. But I wouldn't doubt that, like, you know, back in the day, if they had like the vinyls and whatnot, right, being sold during Christmas time and whatnot, I think that would have been cool to have.
Decca Records released an LP version of the soundtrack in
you see, I told you. I didn't. I told you.
1964. Mint copies of the original record are
Decca. For the kids out there, back then there was a thing called LPs. Okay, just a big like plastic disc looking thing, and in it was the song, all the songs and whatnot. Much different from a CD. The CDs were smaller. Now these days, everyone has, you know, are using chips and built-in memory chips and whatever the hell.
Are considered a collector's item.
It's just how times have changed and how far we've come.
And you'd be a hit at any Christmas party if you threw this particular wax onto a turntable.
Oh yeah, exactly. For sure, dude. All the Christmas, especially if you had like the LPs that had maybe not just only like maybe this soundtrack and whatnot, but even with some of the artists that was listed in the beginning of the
legacy
video.
Established by Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is nothing short of,
because even now, right now, Spotify has, definitely has several of the movie songs in playlists. I don't think I've seen maybe like one or two of the songs from the film that weren't featured in the playlist. I think, yeah, like at least one or two songs are in from the movie are in the
Christmas Miracle. Montgomery Ward assumed Rankin and Bass's holiday special would do well, but no one could have anticipated its lasting appeal. Animation methods
Dude, it stood the test of time. I mean, last week they featured it on NBC after still 60 years. Dude, like this damn film is still standing against the test of time, man.
Have evolved in the decades since Rudolph's release.
Of course.
But there's something timeless about the film, and characters hailing from this era of animagic animation. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is such a massive hit.
It just goes without saying that, like, even back then, guys, like, not even just like anything in general back then, everyone cared about quality. Excuse me, if it was whenever it came to cars, houses, kitchens, appliances, etc., you freaking name it. Things being built back in the day, like say from the 1940s to maybe 60s or 70s. I don't know when the last era could be said that products would be made to quality is like now kind of gone downhill and whatnot. You buy a car, they'll start breaking down in like what, 3-5 years max. I mean, when back then that if you bought like say a 1960 Mustang or a Charger, whatever, that if you even see one of those today is a testament of time and just shows the resilience of those type of cars and whatnot. Because I'll say it, freaking old school shit freaking was just better, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I wish I had a freaking 1967 or 60s 1960 Dodge Charger, or maybe even a Continental, actually. The gangster car, I think, right? A Continental or Imperial. Fuck, I forgot which one it was. The cars that the gangsters used back in the day. I mean, even though they were associated with bad people, I still can't help. Those freaking cars look freaking dope as fuck, dude. Come on. Don't tell me that you wouldn't want to roll around in one of them beauties.
That it's been rebroadcast yearly, more than 50 years after its release.
Yeah, just about every year they still feature it. I don't think I see it stopping. And if it does stop, then the only reason it'll probably stop is because of the namby-pambies that are freaking saying that it's message about fascism and all this other freaking stupid retarded shit.
Families still gather around the glow of the flat screen to join Rudolph in his reindeer games.
Yeah.
Rankin and Bass Productions continued making holiday-themed specials for more than a decade after Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, they started making, let's see, off the top of my head, Baby New Year, Christmas in July, Year Without a Santa Claus, Jack Frost. Whole bunch, dude. Like, there's even a collection that you can get off of Amazon or maybe at Walmart if you're lucky enough. Because unfortunately, Target no longer sells DVDs anymore or whatever, or Blu-rays for that matter, which is, I fucking hate it. I'm a person who needs something to have something physical in my hand in order. I like, as much as I love technology, the digital shit is just not, no. Is just the realm that I loathe and detest, but unfortunately I do take part of it because, like, I play games on Steam and whatnot, but I still miss having that fucking disc reader.
Helped make them a household name. The studio released The Little Drummer Boy in 1968,
Yep.
Frosty the Snowman in 1969,
An actual
and
animation.
Santa Claus is Coming to Town in 1970. Muller wrote all 4 of Rankin and Bass's holiday specials, creating a universe of Christmas cheer that would last for generations.
Yeah, and in some of the other ones that, like, example, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, A Christmas in July, right? A Christmas in July had featured Rudolph, but he looked very different. He looked a little bit more, like, let's say, like his face around here from his cheeks was a little bit more wider than, and he looked a little bit more cheeky, I guess you could say. He definitely looked different.
It blows my mind to think watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer could have been a family tradition in my household since before I was born. Did my parents leave the movie on as background noise during?
Yeah, for me, my parents watched it with me. And then later I would just be watching it by myself, just sitting in the living room while my parents were, like, cooking, making tamales.
The holiday season? Was my older sister watching it before me? What will it be like to watch the film as an adult? Does the animation hold up?
I say it does. I still think it does. And I'm not a father and whatnot, but I think about one day sitting down with my children, if I have any children, sitting down and watching this movie with them. I don't think I would subject my kids to today's animation unless I looked over it and think that it's good, because today's animation is shit. There's only a couple of gems, like the last best animation movie I freaking saw in theaters was The Wild Robot. Holy crap, dude, that movie was awesome. It was definitely a gem. That it was an animated movie that I needed in my life that I did not know I needed.
Will the story stand the
if you haven't seen it, I suggest check it out.
Test of time? Have I become too sensitive to the antiquated themes?
I have not. And never will I fall into that, fall into that damn thing, into that, that hole. I don't want to subject myself into such fuckery with all these woke ass idiots that think that this movie is somehow portraying or promoting fascism or racism and whatnot, when themselves, these blue haired idiots, are the ones that are fascist and whatnot.
Chauvinistic dialogue and dismissive actions of the characters? The answer is yes. Yes, I have. During my latest rewatch of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, it quickly became apparent that times have changed since Muller penned this classic yet problematic holiday special. Throughout the film, Rudolph's father, Donner, is emotionally and physically abusive.
I don't think so, because as you know, the whole culture war thing is that, like, men are getting shit on for being this way, being toxic and blah 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 and whatnot. But I don't think, like, within, like, the characters, like, they're, if anything, the characters in the beginning of the movie, we do see them as flawed in hindsight, 24 hindsight, right? Like, he's saying that Donner is being seen as a toxic father, so to speak. Let's see what else he's going to say.
Shames the tiny reindeer for his bright red nose, forcing him to wear a covering to mask his natural physiology.
Yeah, so there's like the strikes right there. Donner is, like, in the movie, he's determined to keep his son's nose a secret.
Film. Rudolph's father, Donner, is emotionally and physically abusive. He shames the tiny reindeer for his bright red nose.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I don't think the reason why I said I don't think he's in the wrong is because just to double down on, like, how times were back then, it's just like, a product of his time and whatnot. And, I understand, I get it and whatnot, but okay, let me throw an olive branch here for to, let's see, not equal, but give maybe a better outlook, I guess you could say. I think it was necessary in the realm, as the story is being told, that I think it was necessary to have Donner be that way. Why? Because at the end of the film, he does a complete 180. He maybe the narrator or the person speaking is gonna talk about it, but just in hindsight, that at the end of the movie, as we already I think mentioned, is that everyone that shamed Rudolph for being, for what he is because of his red nose, begin to accept him. So let's take
forcing him to wear a covering to mask his natural physiology.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Santa could care less about Rudolph's safety and is hyper-fixated on executing his Christmas plans like clockwork.
Exactly.
I believe that bullying extends beyond Rudolph's reindeer peers, as it lurks within the film's dominant male figures' harsh words and contemptuous actions. These aspects of
And this kind of, like, people are gonna definitely like say, "Oh, it's toxic masculinity," and what I like. No, it's just not that he's not. It's not that he's toxic or anything about his demeanor. Well, like, as a person, he's probably toxic. Like, that much is given, but the actions, or the things that that make a man so-called a man, like being stoic and self-respect, blah 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 blah. That's not toxic. That's just human decency, or male human decency and whatnot. Nothing about that is toxic. It's just not. It's just that maybe there are toxic individuals out there that are just not toxic, but let's just say they're just honestly shitty people and whatnot, and probably didn't get a lesson in life somewhere that they missed, and just now picked up and are learning and whatnot. But it's how they say, like, it's never too late. Okay.
Of the film were difficult to,
as long as if they learn and they change for the better, by all means, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's never too late and whatnot.
To ignore, as Hollywood strives to course correct decades of ableism and sexism on screens. Personal misgivings aside, Rudolph's staying power and influence throughout animation history cannot be denied. Rankin and Bass's holiday special excels at creating a charming holiday aesthetic with characters and atmosphere often emulated by Christmas decoration manufacturers worldwide. Additionally, while the film's animation is a product of its time, it represents,
like I said earlier, it's a product of its time. So nothing about it is wrong. It's just a product of its time. You can even take it even a step further back when Looney Tunes from Warner Brothers were featuring animated movies. Animated cartoons, that there was, obviously some racial, racial satire, or racial, profiling of black people, obviously, giving them, caricatures and whatnot, and you can watch them today on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they're floating around there, but you can watch them and look them up, and you'll probably cringe and be like, "Oh, I can't believe they made that," and whatnot. But I don't think that those films, or any film, should be, because as I'm a person who believes in free speech, that these things deserve to exist, and I'll let the individuals judge, the product, basically, and whatnot. And I don't think that, erasing them or trying to censor them does any justice, really. It just doesn't. It doesn't help anybody.
Earliest successes of the method, paving the way for other notable stop-motion projects. Where would stop-motion filmmakers like Henry Selick, Travis Knight, Peter Lord, and Nick Park B without Rudolph to inspire them. Despite its
you didn't mention Tim Burton, but I'm pretty sure Tim Burton was inspired somehow, and if not inspired by the individuals that were named already.
Corporate roots. I admire Rudolph's ability to appeal to generations of fans. People of all ages tune in for the yearly special, making viewings as much of a Christmas holiday tradition as kissing under the mistletoe, or leaving cookies and milk for Santa Claus. Still, I'll give Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer 6 Buzz Lightyears out of 10. The film may be timeless, but that doesn't make it untouchable. Rudolph hails from a bygone era of animation that helps make it a classic, though little beyond the visual and musical elements of the film remain entertaining. Nostalgia is a hell of a weapon in the war against lasting quality, and I found myself disengaging with the story in a way that made me feel like a Grinch. The world of animation owes an unpayable debt to Rankin and Bass's holiday specials, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer included. The film represents decades of joy and entertainment for families around the holidays, and it's impossible to think about Christmas without Rudolph and his stop-motion animated friends. I wish you all the best this coming holiday season. May your days be merry and bright.
And I wish the same for you guys. Okay. Oh, that was a good video. It's a good diving into this timeless classic and whatnot. I still, hold this movie in high regards and whatnot. But that's just me and whatnot. Like the saying is, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I don't think that anything about this movie is, racist or anything like that. It's just a product of its time, like he said. And, maybe, some things haven't aged as well and whatnot, because sometimes as time goes by, some stuff, doesn't age and whatnot. But, if maybe you're like me, who understands quality and understands, that passion, where that comes from, is definitely something worth the test of time and something worth watching. I don't deny that whatsoever. And just like everything else, it deserves to exist, and it deserves to be rejected, it deserves to be praised, and everything in between, and whatever. I'll be on the side of defending it, however, because this movie had a very good, impact in my life, and as a child, and growing up with it has, it made my life better, if it counts for anything, because it has. All right, I think that's my 2 cents of thought, or my food for thought, my ideas, basically. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I totally enjoyed this video. It was definitely, eye-opening, educational, insightful, everything in between. So thank you guys for watching this video with me, and I hope you leave a like and subscribe to it, please. I greatly appreciate it. I'll leave the original video in the description. Let me just go ahead and make sure make sure I have this. Copy, yeah, the URL, and I'll leave it in the description for everyone to go check out for themselves. Please show this Joe Blow, right? Joe Blow animation videos. Please go give them a like and subscribe to this person. It was a pretty good damn video. It was a good video. Shout out to him. And wow, that was a year ago. Surprised that didn't come across my radar. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me. Like I said, please don't forget to like, subscribe to yours truly and to Joe Blow animated videos. And I'll catch you all in the next one.